don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you don't do.
Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the videos are helping you in your designing process. If they are, please go ahead and hit that subscription bell. Leave me a comment, please. Take 5 seconds. Hit that notification bell for further content notifications. And leave me a like. Share the content, of course. And if you'd like to buy me some coffee, down here there's a super thanks button. You can go ahead and tap on that and donate a cup of coffee to the cause. Today, what we're going to be doing is... this thing here, it looks like it has a couple different size stones. I'm just going to go ahead and do 2, but it'll kind of show you what's going on. No problem, I don't think. And we'll go in and put other shaped stones and different styles like this in the future content, just to make sure everybody understands all the process. But I think it's pretty straightforward. And we'll go ahead and just jump in on it. I'm going to use 2 different size stones just for this particular content here today. So we're going to go grab a ring rail and hit that and hit OK. We'll just take the default from here. Actually, let's go ahead and we'll grab a cathedral. Let's do a cathedral. Oh, there it is. And we'll accept that right away. And then we'll go to gems. We'll go to gems on ring rail. And of course, we want to hold down shift and snap that to our 5-0, and then come over and we're going to change that to an oval shape. And you can manipulate this whatever size that you're wanting. I'll just say this one's good. And of course, if you want to up or down or wherever you want it, I'll just say like right around in here's good. Yeah, it should be okay. It's maybe, yeah, it should be. All right, so from here what we'll do is we'll grab that stone. We'll just grab an offset ring, and I'm going to use a 5mm or 2.5 millimeter 5-pointer, I should say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to take half that distance, 1.25. And go ahead and bump that out to 1.25. And then I'm just going to take it back just ever so slightly, and then of course drop that down. And this should be able to be manipulated later, so we'll just go ahead and say OK from here. All right, now we need another gemstone. We need that 5-pointer, right? So we'll just grab that, hold down shift, take it down to 2.5, so it's a 5-pointer, and we have it down here to our plane, right? Now I'm going to make sure my O snaps are turned on. I'm going to make sure my vertex snap right here is turned on. And then I'm going to go to, well, before I do that, let's grab this curve and let's go in here, click on curve. And I'm going to scroll down here to point objects, and I'm going to divide this curve by, well, first hit enter here, and then I'm going to divide it by 16 points, 8 5-pointers, and then 8 some kind of smaller stone. Not sure yet, but we'll take that, and then we'll hit enter. Now I'll go ahead and select this stone here, go to move, and with that vertex snap we'll just grab that culet right here, and then we'll go to perspective, make it easier, and we'll just snap it to that point right there. And now we can come over here to our side view, and we'll just drag it down to that the girdle where it's pretty close to that plane right there. Right now we need a smaller stone, so we'll just go back to our gems. We'll grab another gem, and this one we'll take it down to, I don't know, 1.8, and we'll go ahead and hit enter. And again, vertex snaps on, move, snap this to that culet right there, and this one we'll take up and put it over to right here, and then again we'll go over and drag that down to our where it matches our girdle or our other stone there, right? Now, if you want them straight up, you're good to go. You can just skip this next part, but if you want an angle on them, you can select this one here and give it some kind of an angle or whatever. Now, this one's a little bit more tricky because it, if we try to, it's going to not give us at that angle, right? The curve. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to curves, and we're going to just grab a curve. I'm going to switch to my creation layer. I'm going to go from F4 to that point with my point snaps on, right? And now I have a little guide to be able to tell what's going on. And actually this stone looks a little bit big. So let's go ahead and change that as we speak here. Let's make that a little bit smaller. What is this one? We'll hit enter. I want to make sure that's a 2.5. Yeah. And hit enter, and this one is a 1.4, it looks like. 1.5 is a little big, so 1.4. All right. So this one, like I said, it's a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab this, and we're going to put that arrow so that's kind of like pointing right back to our F4, right? On that line, right? And I'll hit enter, and I'll grab that line and delete it. We don't need it anymore. And now that is lined up, right? So now all we have to do is get the right handle here, this red one, and just kind of give it a little angle like our going in the same direction as our stone there. So it has a little angle on it, right? Okay. From here, I'll switch to a little shaded mode, see a little bit better. And then I'll grab this one, go to my transform menu, and scroll down here. No, I won't. Array right here. Array along curve. And then I will select, already have my stone selected, so I'll select the path curve. And then number, it says 2. We're going to put 8. And then hit enter, and then enter. And as you can see, we'll switch to wireframe. It placed them right there on those spots, exactly what we want. I'm going to right click, bring that back, select this one, hit enter, and it's already set at 8. It didn't select my base curve. Select that, hit enter, select my base curve, and then enter again, and it places those right at those points. So everything's all lined up according to where it should be. Right. And as far as getting these sizes, you just have to, whatever the main stone is, maybe put that one. I like the stones on the north, south, east, and west, but maybe you don't want them. It just really depends. I mean, like I said, we'll go back and revisit this at a later date. So now I'm going to take this one, switch it to this color so we have them on different layers. And then I'll select all these, and then we'll group them together. All right. And I think, yeah, okay. All right, so we have that. So we'll go ahead and select these, and we'll go to settings, and we'll do an under bezel here. And the under bezel failed because it's those are too small, right? So it says try adjusting the girdle offset or the bottom thickness. We'll try girdle offset first, and I think it's going in the upper direction here. There we go. So something like that. And I want that thickness to be just enough to be able to see those bezels. I don't want it any more. And then I'm going to go to dome, and then I'm going to drag it all the way down to 0. I don't want any dome here. And we'll see about, let's see. First, let's see if we can take that and see if we can drag that in any. Something like that maybe. And then we'll go ahead, placement, we'll drag that up to our stones here. And that one looks like it's a little off, right? It's probably our stone there. So let's go ahead and take that. Let's see if we can just select this one here. And let's see if we can bump that up just a little. And it takes that bezel up with it. Let's shift, control, select, and we'll just bump it down. There we go. All right, something like that perhaps. All right, so we have those, and it looks like they're a little, yeah, it's okay. Got a little bit of gold going around. I don't really particularly care for. Let's go ahead and select these. See if I can bring this in any. Yeah, it's not going to let me because it's going to blow because of this one here. So I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and deselect this, and we'll take this one and get rid of that. We'll just select this one here and then put that bezel on there, make it a little easier. Maybe we can do them individually. And I'll grab this. I don't want any of that. We'll drag that up to wherever we want it. Now it's I'm not getting that rib going around it right. I can manipulate it a little bit more, and I'll take this down like that. We'll go ahead and hide those. I'm going to go ahead and leave it because we can use our cutters to do the rest of it, right? And height, I don't think we need it that high, maybe around 1.15 maybe. Something like that. Let's turn these back on. Now I'm going to hold down Shift Control and select this one, and we'll just right click, bring that back. And of course, this time let's play around with the bottom thickness. And there we go. That's much better. Now I'm not getting all that stuff right. And again, our dome, we want to get rid of that. And let's drag that up into position. Something like that. It's okay that they're not the same. I think it took us to 1.1, was it? I think. We'll just leave that one a little bit. So we got something like that. We got a little gap there, but that's okay. I think that'll be fine because we're going to put some prongs in there anyway. And I think that looks okay. And maybe let's open this. Oop, not that. This here. Let's take that straight down. And let's just open that up just a little. And let's open that bottom up. And again, we don't have to worry too much about it because we can do our cutters, right? So we'll just take that there and we'll put our stones back on. All right, again, now we'll just go to transform. Again, array. Everything's already set up, so we'll just go ahead and select this one, hit enter, and we need that base curve right there, and it goes ahead and lays out all those heads for us, right? Yep. Okay. So we have this so far. Let's go ahead now, and well, while we're here, let's grab this one here, go back to curves, and we're going to offset this parametric. So parametric offset, and I'm going to take it down to maybe a 0.6, and then just go ahead and click there for right now. We can always come back and manipulate that later. So now let's try getting some prongs on there. Yeah, let's do that first. So let's go to cluster prong placer, and let's click that. We'll select our center stones, select all our other stones, and we'll hit enter, and it doesn't give us anything. Sometimes that happens. There's a couple things. We'll just go ahead and hit enter. We'll go to our center stone here, and we'll just manipulate that a little bit just for fun. There's our prongs. Right now I'm going to take that, go back and bump that back to where it was, something like that. Maybe not that big. Yeah, maybe it is. Okay, something like that. All right, so we'll just go ahead and click enter, and it'll kind of play around with our prongs a little bit. Let's just select one of our prongs and go ahead and start editing. What we're going to do here is go to this one here. We're going to put tons of prongs on it. Looks like that's a little off, huh? Okay, I'm going to select that. I'm going to go ahead and our item went out, right? So I'm going to go ahead, select this one, and kind of bump it out just a little. And you can see everything kind of updating with it, right? And then I'm going to grab this one here by holding down Shift Control, and I'm going to bump that one out a little bit as well. All right, and now this one here, is that on my, yeah, that's that one. Shift Control, this one here. I don't have my control out here, but I can hold down Shift, and I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Let's look down on it. A little bit larger. There we go. All right, so we have this out here, right? And our prongs are kind of like all over the place, and our heads are a little jacked too, but it updated those two heads. It kind of looks like, maybe. Let's go ahead and select these. I'm going to turn those to red and then hide them real quick. I'm going to go ahead and select all purple, and we're just going to delete that again. And this time, let's see about putting them all on there. Yeah, there we go. Much better. All right. Sometimes you just got to play around with it and get it to work the way you want it. This one, we'll just go ahead and drag straight down. Drag that one up. Something like that. And again, I don't want any of that dome. Not a big dome fan for some reason. And we'll drag that up. And we'll go ahead and click. And then I'm going to take this one here. Shift Control, select that. It just looks like it's still up a little high. And it should be updating all that. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's kind of, I think, what I'm going to be going for. Now let's go ahead and select all those, and let's go to, well, before we select those, let's go to cluster prong placer, I believe. Select this one, select all these, hit enter, and there, that's much better. And then here we'll go to here, and that is much better. And we're going to turn off our meshed and just use the poly surfaces. Right away, I'm going to go to length, and I'm going to bump that up a little. Maybe a little bit more. Which one am I doing here? I guess I should, yeah. Okay, you have to keep an eye right here. Right now I'm doing the shared inside, so these right here. So length, let's bump that back just a little. See it bump up there, and one more. Yeah, that looks okay. So 1.75, remember that number. I'm just going to go clear length, type in 1.75, enter, and it drops those down. And then I'm going to go back up again. I'll just do them all individually so I don't forget any of them. Or mess up the coordinates for any of them, and then bump those up, and then go to the last one here and back down to length and type in 1.75. Okay, so they all have the same length on them, and I think the height's okay, so we'll just leave that alone. The nudge, let's see here. The inside ones and the outside, yeah, it looks like they all need a little nudge. So let's go back to the first one, shared inside. So that would be these here for nudge, and we'll just kind of go in and I think it's edge nudge, and we'll just kind of bring that in a little. Yeah, and maybe a little bit more. Actually, let's bump it back out a little. All right, let's go to our top diameter here. Let's take our top diameter to 0.7 and hit enter. So there we go. Now we don't really need to nudge, but we probably do want to our Z offset, kind of bump it up a little. Something like that maybe. And so we have a Z offset of 0.7 and a length of 0.7. Well, I don't need that. We already did that. Z offset and 0.5 for base and 0.7. So we want to change all those to keep them all the same. So 0.7, 0.7. And we'll just, there we go, 0.7, 0.7. Let's do the, I thought I just, let's see, what did I do here? Top diameter, 0.7. Base diameter 0.7, nudge 0.7. Oh, maybe that's where I jacked it up. Move that in. It's coming in slowly. Wait for it to update. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. It's all a guessing game, right? I mean, you got to just kind of play around with it to figure out what's best for you. It's got a little overhang on both of those, and by the time the prongs kind of bent over, I think it should be okay. All right. So we have a 0.7, 0.7, and 1.9 on that one. The edge nudge may not be the same on all of them. So let's see what this update's like. Yeah, I liking that better. So it kind of gives in a little bit. All right, so but a 0.7 is the main thing at this point. So let's go ahead here and just do that first. So 0.7, enter, 0.7, enter. And we'll leave that alone for right now. We just want to, it did these right here on the outside, right? At a 0.7. Now we can play around with the nudge on them if we feel like that needs to be nudged in a little bit. Just takes a little while. It's got a lot of updating to do. It's reading all that geometry. And I'll do it a little bit more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. And our Z, oh, I didn't do our bottom there. So let's do this here, 0.7. So it updates the bottom of the prong, right? And our Z offset, I forget what it was now, but we'll just wing it. Okay. Yeah, all right. Now, you know, if you wanted these to be a little bit thicker or same size, it just really depends. So we're on the outside. So let's go to let's see, outside one, outside unshared. Okay. And we'll bump that one up. Base diameter, top diameter, 0.7, enter, base diameter, 0.7, enter. See what that looks like, and we'll give that a little nudge as well. Did I go the wrong direction on that? I think I did. So we'll take it to the other side. Yeah, there we go. Slowly moving in there. Yeah, that looks okay. And of course our Z offset, we want to bring that up some as well. Maybe that's a little too much. Z offset. So let's take it down just a smidge. All right, something like that perhaps. All right. The last one would be this one here, which is our unshared inside prong, right? And the first thing we're going to do is 0.7 and enter and 0.7 and enter. So that it gets those, whoa, oh, 0.70. Wow. Okay, so 0.7, that's a heck of a prong. And of course we want to do some nudge on that one. Did I go the right direction or the wrong direction? Oh, it moved in, it looks like a little. Let's go ahead. Bump that in. Oh, it's going the wrong direction. So let's take it over the other way. A little bit more. Okay. And maybe a little bit more. All right. And then we'll do a little bump up with that as well. That's a little too much, huh? It's better if you just keep going back and looking at your dimensions, I think. That way you don't have to play around with it, because it does take some time to update. Okay, probably don't need those up that much, so let's back off just a little bit more. Stop there. No. Okay, that's okay though. All right, so we got that, right? Now we want to, let's go ahead and accept all that for right now. Let's grab this thing here. We want to bump that up just a smidgen. And we'll go ahead and click. And let's see, hopefully that won't update everything. It's going through there, and just give it a little time. It's got a lot of geometry out there. Okay, so we should be okay from here. All right. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get this head. This is probably the most time consuming because we have a lot of things to watch, right? First thing I'm going to do is go in here in our rail count, just put it at 1. And then the next thing I'll do is just drag that up so it's kind of like going up inside. And then I'm going to go ahead and change that rail. Instead of that round one, we'll go to something a little bit more squared off, perhaps. Something like this one maybe. And yeah. And then what I'll do is we'll go to our last one here real quick, and we want to give it some thickness, make it a little thicker, right? And it's going into all our prongs and everything right there, right? So let's go back to our first one, and we'll do not the bend, X. We'll kind of like bring that in a little bit, right? Something like that. And then I believe we need to go back to our rail, 4th level, level 4. And our offset, we want to bring this in, and actually you want to be watching how far it goes in, something like that. So right, and that looks okay. And now we need to work on these prongs because they're kind of off our item here. And actually we might be able to go back to that. This is the hardest part. You just kind of have to play around with it to get it to oh, it's moving that prong. So let's move this in. Let's go ahead and go to, is it this one? Prong nudge. There we go. Now it's going in. All right. And our prong nudge up here. We want to use that as a little bit of extra meat for that prong or that stone. That's okay. I don't mind that so much. Offset row, prong nudge. Let's bump this in a little bit more. Just kind of play around with it to where you get it to where you like it. Check the bottom, make sure everything's good to go on the bottom, and I think that's okay. The only thing I'm really concerned about is I want to be able to put a nice little bead on these stones up here, right? So I want this rail to be down below that, right? So that when I go to put a bead there, it's not going to so it's not going to affect that prong there. I want a nice little bead there on those prongs, right? Okay. And actually, I think I'll go back. Oh, I'm on level 4 here, so I'm going to go to that offset and just kind of make it bump out a little bit. And I'll drag this in a little. We'll make this a little thicker. Something like that. So now it's touching these prongs here. So it's touching here, here, here. And then of course those here, right? Yeah, so that should be a nice sturdy area for it. So I'll go ahead and accept that, right? Now, when your jeweler sets it, he can adjust the height too, so don't worry so much about it. But, you know, as far as the height offset, because your jeweler can bend those prongs back a little bit and drop it down depending on how he wants it or whatever, how you want it. Now let's just go ahead and we'll go back to our curves. We'll grab an oval. We'll go from F4. And I'll turn off my snaps here at this point, and we're just going to kind of make a little oval down here, something like that. And then what we'll do is we'll go to curve between two views from here to that offset curve that we put out there, right? And now we're going to go back to those prongs and go to an edit. And now we're going to pick this curve box, and we're going to select that curve there, right? And all those prongs, the inside and the outside, go down to that curve. Well, we don't want the inside prongs to go to that curve. We're going to keep the inside prongs up at the top there. We don't need them to go down. So anything that says inside, shared inside, we'll click there, and we'll scroll down, enable blend to curve. We're going to disable that, and then we're going to come back up here, inside, right, and we're going to scroll down, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and enter. Oh, it's a freeze up. There we go. All right. So we'll go to this one here, and we'll disable that as well. Right. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. Something happened there. Let's go back. There we go. All right. So let's try this again. Go here, edit, curve, here. They all go there. Unshared inside, we'll scroll down, disable, wait for it. We'll go back up. Shared inside, we'll go down, disable. So it got rid of all those inside prongs. The inside ones are just going to be on the inside up top, right? We don't need them to go all the way down. So now what we're going to do is go to our outside. We'll start with the shared, and we'll scroll down here, and we will go our tilt. We'll just drag it over something like 85, and this will take a few seconds because it's got to manipulate all those surfaces out to an 85-degree angle. Something like that. And this really depends amount of base, you kind of just have to really play around to get the kind of look that you're going for. But now let's go to a top amount. Amount here, and let's bump that over. Kind of wait for it. See, it's bumping them out now. And that looks pretty good. Maybe I could go a little bit more. Wait for it to do its thing. There we go. Yeah. It just depends on what kind of, angle you want these, and there's a lot of ways to manipulate these. So now let's go to our unshared outside, and we'll click there, and again we're going to go down. I think it was 85 that I put it at, so I'm just going to type, I'll just drag it, negative 85, something, what I got. Wait for that to update. There we go. Maybe I gotta kind of just however you want them, right? Maybe, what is it, 70? Let's do a little bit more. Just kind of hang out and wait. All right, and now we'll go to our top amount and drag that. These are our unshared ones. The top amount here, we'll go ahead and first let's bring it back, see what that does. Well, it's going up. I don't like that. So let's top amount. Let's go ahead and let's type in 1.3. Kind of guessing game. See, it popped it out a little bit, which is kind of what I want. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Top amount 1.5. Let's kind of wait for it. Nope, did it do it already? Yeah, it looks okay. So, I mean, you just kind of have to play around with the numbers and the top base output. You could maybe, if you didn't like it where it comes down so much, maybe drag that back a little bit, and that base should pop up a little bit. It'll change the shape of it. Let's take it down some more, base amount. All right, so let's go back to our shared outside, and let's go that base amount, drag that down to. Give it some time. There we go. So, you know, you can just kind of keep playing around with that until you get it to where you want. I'm going to move on for sake of the video. But it's just playing around with it till you get a nice prong shape that you're wanting for it. I have another video that kind of gives you more decorative prongs. That's totally up to you. Now it's just basic. Go ahead and select your ring rail. Go back to your tools. Profile placer, right? And I think this is just a normal kind of squared off type. I'm going to make a little different design for it just for fun. And which one? This is the one I want right here. And I have that one up here. And let's go ahead and lock that to our outside here. And I'm going to go ahead and click off that for right now. And then we're going to grab this and do some editing with our cathedral since we have parametric history. And we'll go ahead and drag that up a little bit, something like around here. And let's make it a little thinner, maybe 2 millimeter. And then I'll click off that. We'll say that's what I want. And I'm going to go back and select that. Oh, it's updating everything. So let's wait for that. Don't get click happy and have to start all over again. It doesn't take that long. Okay, there we go. So we'll select that curve or that profile, and we will do some editing with it. And let's go ahead and let's make that something like that. And let's go ahead and we'll turn this off and mirror it over here. And then we'll go down to our bottom, hold down shift and place another one. And this one down here, we're going to drag it out a little bit, something like that. Why not? Oh, you know what? I should have. Let's take this because I made a ting ring and not a thud ring. I'm going to take that out to 2.5 and I'm going to take this down to 2.5 as well and then hit enter. So it should update all that. And oh, it's got to go back and redo all the meshes. Just give it a second here. This is where the coffee comes in handy. All right. So we have that. All right. So got one on that side. Okay. So let's go to our surface sweep 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Hit enter, and there we go. We got that. All right, and maybe we want to make that a little bit thinner, or maybe you don't. It just really depends. I'll go ahead and select this one here, and we'll just drag that in, make it something like that there. Make it a little bit more. There we go. That looks pretty cool. All right. Last thing we have to, well, there's two more things. We're going to grab this one on the inside, that offset curve that we curve from 2 views projected, right? So we're going to grab that. We'll go to Tools. We'll go to Profile Placer. And again, we want to make sure this one is just kind of a basic profile for our base. And we'll go to All Viewports so we can kind of see what's going on here. And it's going up this way. So we're just going to make it like this, and I'm going to drag it back just a smidgen, and then I'm going to drag that up. I think it was a 0.6, so a 0.2 would put it right on our ring rail, and then I'll take this one back to, I don't know, 0.8 maybe, and we'll just activate sweep for this auto sweep so we can kind of see what's going on and manipulate it even more if we want to. We can see where it's going into our you want to maybe get in here and make sure that it is going in, but we can, that's the main thing, right? That all those prongs are touched. I'm going to bump this back a little bit, something like that. Yeah, and I'm leaving a little bit here so that when I do my emmering and rounding and everything, because some of that will be disappear, but I don't want to file those prongs or emery those prongs, right? I want to keep them. So we'll just, I could probably make it a little thinner. Let's go in here. Yeah, something like that maybe. There we go. All right, and the last thing would be this here, another profile, and we have, oh, I did not want to do that. Let's go in here, and again, probably just the normal rounded profile, right? And this one, take it down. We have a 1.2 there, so I'll take it up to 1.1. And then, of course, this we need to bring in. So 1.4, that should be okay. And then we'll place another one up around here. Yeah, let's turn this. Yeah, that looks okay. And what we'll do is I'll right click. We'll go to Surface, Sweep 1. This one here, that one there, and that one there. Hit enter, and we have that. Now we can go back in here and readjust if you feel like you have to. And we'll take that and just go to Transform, mirror over to our other side, and we can grab this profile here and maybe bump that back a little bit. We don't need it so far out. Just kind of maybe get in there and check, make sure it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. And then we'll hit enter, right? And there you go. Now we can put other kind of cutout work or whatever we want on there. But there you go. So let's go ahead and we'll go here, get rid of that, get rid of this, and click here. And there we go. We have our little cathedral style ring. Now it doesn't have to be a cathedral. You could go through and put a little simpler shank on it, whatever you're looking for. But there you go. So hopefully that helps. And if it does, please go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. And actually those prongs are a little bit heavy, aren't they? Let's go ahead and select our prongs again, do an edit. And I'm going to go to my, did I select my stones or my prong? My prong, okay. I'm going to go to my unshared inside. And instead of a 0.7, I'm going to take this one back to a 0.5. And then 0.5. We'll just make that one a little thinner. I don't think it needs to be so thick since we got these. You could probably put them all back to 0.6, but there you go. There's the gist of it. You can keep on playing around with it, whatever you like. The last thing, is go ahead and do those cutters, right? Cutters. And you want to make sure, of course, you're not cutting into your prongs. So drag that up as much as you can to get them wherever you want. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll just take the default for the most part. And then all these, right? So let's take our prongs and we'll turn them to this color here. Let's take these prongs and turn them to blue. And let's go ahead, select all purple. Let's go to solids, Boolean difference, and second surface. That'll be these. Enter and enter. And let's go ahead and grab all of this and change them back to purple. And let's hide our gemstone. And now we have those cutouts, right? And we didn't cut our prongs, which is great for me. But for rendering, you'd probably want to go ahead and cut those prongs. But there you go. Again, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. Good designing.